Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports for yet another live stream. And today we are going to be talking about India versus Bangladesh. In a few minutes' time, India are going to play their fourth game of the World Cup and they're going to be targeting to win 4 in 4 to sit on top of the World Cup table as well. As their counterpart, New Zealand have already taken the leap of winning 4 games in this World Cup. And India and New Zealand are the only teams who are undefeated at this point of stage in the World Cup, and India would want to continue that. And the other end, Bangladesh would want to continue their good record against India because in the last 4 games, Bangladesh have gone to defeat India 3 times, two in the bilateral series, and the third one in Asia Cup in the recent past as well. But Bangladesh have never defeated India in India, so that's a proud record which India holds at this point of stage, and India will be pretty prideful of that as well. But let's get into the live. I have Sai with me. Welcome once again, Sai Prasad Kangne. As you all know, he's an analyst and he has been part of Kale Kabaddi. He's been part of One Cricket. He's been part of Cricket Tracker and many other organizations as well. He's going to give you a deep dive insights into the strategical and even about stats as well throughout the course of the live stream. Welcome, Sai, on the show. I hope you're doing good. And how excited are you for this game?
Yeah. Thanks, Abil. Thanks a lot for the introduction. That's really good to know that today we have Indian game, and I'm really excited to see. Although it will be a kind of easy game for Indian cricket team right now, but still we cannot say anything due to the previous setbacks we have seen in the World Cup. So we cannot say anything. But yeah, I'm really excited to watch the game.
Yeah, but there's an interesting thing that every alternate day there's an upset which has been happening. If you look at the pattern, would you consider today to be an upset and you're also donning the Bangladesh green color, Sai? What does that mean?
Yeah, actually, I can't see today because today, as compared to other teams like Afghanistan and Netherlands, they do have some strong mindset in terms of planning and plotting. I haven't seen anything like this for Bangladesh in terms of planning purpose.
Yeah.
Because of their batting stuff, they are really low as compared to their bowling because their bowling is much stronger as compared to their batting.
Absolutely. But when we talk about Bangladesh as well, in the recent past, they've been really spin heavy. But if you look at Pune, for example, it's been one of those surfaces where you've not seen a lot of cricket in the recent past, and it's the first game of the World Cup. But considering what has happened in the past, Pune is one ground you don't get a lot of spin. You get pacers who really bend their backs to get some bounce out of it. You get some bit of movement under lights in Pune. Do you think Bangladesh spinners at all will come effective in a game like this where you are going to see a lot more pacers dominating considering the altitude in which the MCA stadium is located, considering the previous records on Pune? That's why you think Bangladesh can be neutralized because Bangladesh really relies on a ground where there are spinners, where their spinners can come into play, where there's a slight bit of break and grip in the surface. We've seen that in Chennai, we've seen that in Sri Lanka, we've seen that in Mirpur, where they have built a base for themselves as well. So in Pune, it's going to be slightly different for them in comparison to other grounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I do live in Pune itself, so I know the pitch conditions and somewhat about the ground conditions. Although it will be a quite not that much large stadium, but still it is a long stadium in terms of the fielding positions where you can have the extra runs in your hand in terms of fielding. So yeah, spinners will play a huge role, but it depends on the innings. If the Bangladesh is bowling first, then I can give upper hand to them. But if it is defending case, then Indian team will for sure win it because in terms of Pune, there are few players who have played IPL very much in Pune and they know about this ground. In terms of second innings, it is a bit kind of dew will come for sure because yesterday itself it had heavy rain in Pune. So maybe due to that, second innings will be a chase for sure.
Do you reckon, especially when it comes to Pune, one thing which we've not seen over the years as well is the dew conditions, dew factor being not a big factor there because teams do prefer defending the totals as well because of what you see later on in the game where fast ballers do come into play. If you remember that England versus India series in 2021, you saw likes of Prasidh Krishna get a lot of bounce in that surface. You saw Prasidh Krishna getting the ball to move around quite a bit as well. Under lights in Pune, you often see something or the other happening for the far pacers. In the IPL 2022 as well, you saw likes of Deepak Chahar, Trent Bolt, Prasidh Krishna, all of them having a lot of success in the ground like Pune because of what you get off the surface. More than in the air, you get something off the surface. Will that really prompt India to bat first and maybe use better conditions for their bowlers to, maybe operate later on in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one who will win a toss today, they will for sure think on it to bat first because we don't know in the evening how it will behave the pitch. So it's better to bat first and put a strong total on the board That's how yesterday Afghanistan missed the trick because they won the toss, but still they bowl first, right? They had the chance to put a strong total on the board because it's their strength to defend, right? In the same way, for Bangladesh, it's their strength to defend, right?
Yeah.
As compared to the batting stuff. So I personally feel they should bat first in order to put a strong total, and then they can defend for sure.
Yeah, and this was a question I was going to come into next as well. Mohammad Shami, Shardul Thakur, we've been debating this throughout the World Cup, before the World Cup, during the Asia Cup, and even now. You are in a ground like Pune where you will see something for the Pacers, the right option for Shami to get into the playing 11. And now with Shardul not really bowling so much, India's batting really being in good form, you can afford to play a Shami and maybe restrict the team to 20 runs less than what you've been already conceding. It's not a bad option because it's an attacking option. Shami can maybe share the new ball duties, or Shami can come as a first change. His same position in a ground like Pune will only extract him a lot more out of the wicket. And also, if you look at the record in Pune, which he's gotten, it's pretty decent as well. He's picked up wickets here in the IPL, and also if you look at the test matches he's played in Pune, he's gone to pick up a couple of wickets over here. So it's not a bad option to go to someone like a Shami. I know you did not go in the Pakistan game. The Pakistan game also was an eye opener that even without a Shardul Thakur, you still can operate with other bowlers. And Shami is a better bowler to go into because he can pick up wickets and he can be the better option because Shardul is not really offering anything at this point.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct because that's how I came up with this point in the previous preview where I wanted to make a point that Shami should be in the playing 11. Why? Because of the home ground and because of the pace. Because right now, as you said, the batting lineup looks very strong for India, right? So no need to worry about the bottom order because if you are concerned about the bottom order, that means you are not you don't have trust about your batting lineup, right? But now, as we know, the whole batting lineup has the runs with the hand, so no need to worry about the lower order. We can go with Shami. We don't need a lower order batter nowadays. Maybe in the later of the tournament we can think on it, but right now there is no need to focus more on the lower order. So we should go with Shami. As you said, he will for sure reduce the total by at least 20 runs because he have the ability to knock the lower order for sure because India has the problem in terms of getting all out for the lower order tailenders. But for that, Shami will be the key to play because Shardul is the player who will give you a breakthrough, right? But in terms of tailenders, they always made a struggle. So for that, Shami will be a great place.
Absolutely. But when you talk about India's pace as well, Shami has had good record against Bangladesh, and India will always obviously look to attack Bangladesh with paces more than spinners. But we have to talk about our spinners who've been outstanding in this World Cup, and who other than Kuldeep Yadav to start off with. One of the better bowlers in this World Cup. If you look at his stats, he's been outstanding as well. He's one of those bowlers who's picked up 2+ wickets in most number of times ahead of Shakib Al Hasan, who's also going to be featuring in today's game. But let's talk about this real spin index, isn't it, Sai? How does it really work? And take on the stage, explain to our viewers how does real spin index works, how is balls per boundary better off his, how is real actors better, and what is it, and how is he one of the better spinners in this World Cup at this point considering the metrics?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a new index which we have developed for the audience and for to evaluate the game of cricket more analytically, more statistically. So on the screen you can see we have this spin index which is for all the spinners of the World Cup. If you closely look at the current form of Kuldeep in terms of wickets, in terms of economy rate, in terms of strike rate, those are the parameters everyone knows about that, right? But now we are trying to get one step ahead, one step deep into the stats using our new matrix. That is balls per boundary. That means after how many balls he concede a boundary. Activity rate in terms of percentages. That means how many percentage of the deliveries went for singles, doubles, and triples. Same thing for dot percentages. How many percent of the deliveries went for dots, right? And higher the dot, that means better the dot percentage. If you compare this with the real matrices, so the real matrix will take all the previous three matrices and compare with all the quality spinners of the tournament. Make sure quality spinners. Why? Because we do have Aslanka who bowled couple of overs, then Iftikhar who bowled couple of overs. So they won't be in the quality spinners, right? Quality spinners means they have bowled at least 10 overs so far in the World Cup. So we have around 25 to 26 speed spinners who bowled at least 10 overs so far in the World Cup. And comparing with them, as you can see, he tend to concede a boundary 4 balls extra as compared to the other spinners. So that is advantage for Kuldeep. Secondly, he has a tendency to concede a strike rotation 6% less as compared to other spinners in the tournament so far. Same thing for the dot percentages. He tend to produce dot percentages 10% additional as compared to other spinners so far in the World Cup. So as compared to these real indexes, if you combine all the real index together, it will generate a rank. And for now, it's third rank. So Kuldeep is on the third rank of all the 26 quality spinners so far in the World Cup as compared to the real spin index.
Absolutely, that's a very interesting explanation, and it's very insightful as well for a lot of people who are confused about what this metrics is and why is he one of the best spinners in this tournament and one of the best spinners in the world at this point. That's a beautiful explanation. Thank you, Sai, for that. We will go to Jadeja later on as well. But I'm Antariksh with me. Antariksh, welcome on the show. And I mean, game against Bangladesh, we often say they are not a big threat. But if you look in the recent past, Antariksh, they've been slightly a monkey on our back, which we want to get off quite fast because they've been trying to upset us more often than not. The bilateral series in Bangladesh in November last year, or that Asia Cup game. I know India did not play their best team in both of these occasions, but still, they are a team you want to get away with. You want to just demolish them and go into the next challenge because India would want 4-4 going against New Zealand, and that game is going to get decide who's going to lose the first game in the World Cup, if at all the game happens there.
Exactly. Exactly. I was going to say that the way both the teams are performing, I mean, we might get a washout that day just so that both of them can maintain that unbeaten record. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, like one thing's for sure, like we can take no team for granted. This World Cup, any World Cup for that matter, but this especially because it's just showing glimpses of what it can do to big teams who it almost upsets your rhythm for the whole World Cup when you because truth be told, you go into a World Cup and you're like, right, Afghanistan check, Netherlands check, Bangladesh check, and then we need to win the games against the rest of the teams. And when one of those is unchecked, you're suddenly like, all right, we're gonna how we're gonna get those 2 points. So again, truth be told, Bangladesh would also be a check for India. Like deep down, puchoge dil mein, so it'll be that. But they have to deliver. They have to justify those 2 points. They have to justify their presence, and they have to justify
Yeah.
themselves. Hopefully, being at the top of the table after 4 games.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's going to be a very very intriguing battle, and of course, I mean, of course, a lack of quality from the opposition, but in comparison to other teams, but a lot more familiarity with the conditions because of the presence of subcontinent pitches and all of that connection. So uh, uh, I would say decent, good quality spinners. So it's just going to be a test. It's going to be a test, one which we can't take lightly at all. So let's see. Yeah, let's see any change of action, any change of plans, or something.
Absolutely, absolutely. Having said that, one factor which we have not really spoken about so far in the live stream is India's batting. From yesterday from the Nets, what we got to see is Ishan Kishan spending a lot more time batting against Jadeja and also left arm local bowlers. You reckon, side there could be an option? I'll come to Antariksh also with a similar question. Do you reckon there's an option of bringing Ishan Kishan as an option of horses for courses in a game like this to take on the left arm threat of Nusum if he plays or Shakib Al Hasan? Because, see, Ishan last couple of games ago when he played against Bangladesh, he did score a double hundred, which needs to be given consideration. But at the same time, would you really bring him into the 11 just because you would want these horses for courses and disrupt the current balance which India has?
Yeah, absolutely nice question. I personally feel I won't change the lineup because the momentum that the team have right now, so I don't want to disturb that because even though it's Bangladesh, but make sure it is a very tough opponent because it is an Asian opponent, right? And in Asia, Asian countries can do anything. Like we have seen Afghanistan, we have seen other teams doing better in Asia, right? So even though it's Afghanistan, even though it's Bangladesh, you cannot take it loose and just for the sake of kind of any matchups or kind of any strategies going on at the
Yeah.
backstage, no need to disturb the lineup because we know Ishan maybe he will come up and he will score a 50 or maybe he will score 100, but it will be unfair for the other player that the one who he will replace, right? So I don't
Yeah.
want to disturb the lineup.
Absolutely. Andresh, coming to you with the same question as well, because if Ishan is going to come into the team, he's going to come in ahead of a Shreyas Iyer most likely, because KL Rahul is your wicketkeeper and you're not going to touch KL Rahul at this point. He's one of those untouchable commodities in Team India at this stage. Until and unless there is something again to Shubman Gill, you don't really have to bring in Ishan Kishan, and bring him ahead of a Shreyas Iyer would be a travesty on Shreyas Iyer, because Shreyas Iyer is one of our better players of spin. If you look at the way in which he's played spin in conditions like India in test matches especially, or let it be in this World Cup against Afghanistan, and in that short period where he batted against Pakistan as well, he looked extremely comfortable against spin, and he's a bona fide spin hitter in this team. Would you do that mistake of just bringing a left-hander so that you can replace a better player of spin?
You already answered it. You said, "Would you do that mistake?" So I'm not going to do any mistakes here. So yeah, I mean, I agree with Sai and with you, Abel, that just the disruption of that momentum which is going on. I mean, what's the need? What's the need? Because with bringing in a player comes a bigger headache. Who do you put out? And that's the bigger headache for me, because you know what, you could make a lot of cases. You could make Shamis, you could make Surya Kumars, you could make as you said, Ishan Kishans. But the real
Yeah,
question is, we can't really field 12, 13. So who's gonna go out? And I mean, in terms of our batting lineup, it only looks as if Shreyas Iyer is even still touchable. The
yeah,
rest of them seem to be untouchable, especially sorry, if there's nothing upset with Shubman Gill's camp. So if
absolutely.
all of that is cool, then again, you wouldn't really want to touch it if it's not broken. So yeah, I think maybe it's something they're still unsure of. Maybe till yesterday's net practice or something. But of course, they'd be certain by now who's going to play or who's not. So yeah, I mean, I think we're going to stick with Shreyas
Absolutely.
Iyer. Beg your pardon.
Truly, well and truly. But next question, we have talked about one player from the opposition camp as well. That is Mehdi Hasan Miraj. I mean, he's been exemplary so far in the ODI career he's played out. He's slowly taking on the baton from Shakib Al Hasan to be the next big all-rounder from
Yeah.
Bangladesh. He's been outstanding with the bat and also with the ball. You can maybe compare him in a player battle with Jadeja. How big a factor is he going to be in a game like this? Because he's done all things which you've asked of him. If you want to make him open, he does that. If you want to make him bat number three, he does that. Make him bat as a finisher, he can do that. Opening the bowling, he can do that. Ball in the middle overs, ball in the death. He's done almost everything for Bangladesh they've asked of him. He's going to be a massive factor in today's game. If you remember that Asia Cup game as well, he was a guy who came in the middle overs and really put the brakes on Team India for not scoring a lot of runs. And that really took a lot of momentum away from us and really choked us in the middle overs. And he's got the ability to do that at all surfaces. You can see he's a finger spinner. He's not going to get a lot out of the wicket, but then he's a real quality finger spinner in the modern day and age.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, you can see now he's turning into a top order batter, right? It's not no more as a kind of all rounder. He's turning into a top order batter. You can see the positions like 1, 2, and 3 are considered as a top order batter, right? So now, most of the analysts and most of the statisticians are considering him as a top order batter, nothing less than kind of all rounder, right? So that's why I feel he will be an asset for the Bangladesh team, because players like the keeper, right, Rahim and Shakib, they're playing from huge amount of ages, right? And now we need someone to handle it, because I'm looking him as a future captain, because after this World Cup, there may be some discussion going on for the captaincy. So maybe after the World Cup, Mehndi will be the captain to replace Shakib, I feel. So that's why he need to be to work on the batting order as he do it. So he have to be in terms of those kind of management where he looked after, as we do it as we did it for the KL, right? We did same for the KL, we did it same for the Hardik. Same thing Bangladesh is doing right now with Mehndi. They are looking him as the future captain.
Absolutely. That's an interesting point about captaincy as well. But
Mm.
Antariksh, talking about which, one player who's also could be India's future captain, Shubman Gill, is back fit again. But do you expect him to get going? I know it's hard for a player to recover out of dengue and get going from the very first ball or from the very first game ODI against Pakistan. But there's another opportunity. The last game he played against Bangladesh, he scored 121 in Asia Cup, but he'd want to get rolling in the World Cup. He's already missed 3 games. You can say 2 games, and third game he was just recovering. You can say he was maybe 90% is what I felt. But there's a big opportunity for him in Pune, a good batting surface. If he can support Rohit Sharma, today we can expect some sort of fireworks, especially if India batting first today.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, you know what? Like he almost threw away his wicket, and I just felt that the flair with which he returned, it almost felt that he wasn't recovering from anything. He was gonna send the opposition bowlers into recovery mode. So it,
Yeah,
it was like it was like his getting out had nothing to do with his dengue, because he was just looking so fluent, and he was like
yeah.
he just got too eager to get on with that flow. But as you said, yeah, Bangladesh, now the game, World Cup, he'd want to rack up those runs, because he's one stat padder in the most positive way possible. you know so he's a great sort of stat pattern in that sense. But hopefully, they, as you said, if we bat first, it's going to be very very interesting as to how we take up, because we've seen a different version of Rohit Sharma now. Now it's almost like, as like I was saying in the last game, one of the best things about Rohit Sharma, Kohli, and sort of our ilk of batsmen is that they evolve with the game. And we've seen a lot of greats, like even present time greats, like maybe Steven Smith, or maybe up and coming greats like Klabushin. Like, they haven't really developed that knack of an ODI game.
Yeah, I
Like,
think we
in
just lost him
if
slightly there. But yeah, talking about which, I feel, if you look at Shubman Gill in the recent past as well, just looking at a comparison with Virat Kohli, if you remember, Virat Kohli's first 100 came against Bangladesh in 2011. Do you think, Sai, today is an opportunity for Shubman Gill to maybe score something big and follow Virat Kohli's pathway of first World Cup 100 against Bangladesh?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So maybe this can be a coincidence for Shubman today, right? But as I said, Asian team can do anything in Asia. So just we have to survive the first 10 overs, because in the first 10 overs, Shakib will come, right? Anyhow, he will come in the first 10 overs. And the spin attack of Bangladesh is very huge. So they can convert chances, they have the ability. So if we can tackle the first power play, then the opportunities are higher for Human to convert that start into a 50 and then bigger 100.
Absolutely, that's a good point as well, because if he can follow what is possible as ideal Virat Kohli has done, he can possibly score his first 100 also against Bangladesh and set the World Cup going for him. But Antariksha, we have to talk about Rohit Sharma slightly before we even end the show. Is that the new batting approach with Rohit Sharma has taken up has been phenomenal. I mean, how outstanding has he been in terms of taking up the mantle of a captain, destroying opposition and finishing games off in the power play itself, because you're chasing small totals and he's trying to go at a strike rate of close to 150, 160 in the power play. That's been the difference for Team India in this World Cup. And since that game one, Rohit Sharma has been very clear that he wants to send out a message and we're going to take the opposition on and we're not going to let the bowlers settle in the power play.
Absolutely. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So as I was just talking, that one of the better things about our sort of great batsmen have been that we've evolved with the game, we've evolved with the nature of the game, the format of the game, and the time of the game. So
Okay,
as you can see,
just an update, guys. Shakib is not playing today.
okay, I mean,
Okay.
Ishan Kishan is not playing
He's not
then
captaining. So yeah,
for
go ahead. Go
sure.
ahead.
Ishan Kishan is also not playing then for sure. So
That's okay. Yeah, go
that goes out of the window. But imagine in India play Kishan for Shakib, and Shakib doesn't play. So Shreyas Iyer is gonna punch some balls there. Then, but
ahead.
no. So as I was saying, he has had a very different approach to what a classical Rohit Sharma. See, Rohit Sharma never plays slow. Rohit Sharma never starts slow, but he always used to start like with a hefty strike rate of 80, 85 and stuff like that. But now he's not taking any prisoners. You ball a good ball, he just knows there are two fielders outside the circle. He's going to plonk you up, flick you out, or just he's the the surprising and the best thing about his shots have been that he doesn't keep them down. Like, he just doesn't want to keep those shots down. Like, he just flicks it with his wrists and he absolutely plonks them over the 30-yard circle. So that's the best thing that's been. And yeah, I mean, we hope to have some fireworks today as well.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Virat Kohli, right? This World Cup, he scored runs, but he's gone under the radar. Virat Kohli. I mean, let's talk about him. How big a game is it for him as well? Because for him against Pakistan, I thought he just threw away his wicket. But side, once again, it's an opportunity for someone like a Virat Kohli also, because he's got a good record in a ground like Pune.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So actually, I was just having a look at the reports of the teams, and I have read some article on Bangladesh pacing attack. They were stating that never mess up with Kohli on the field, because once you do
Yeah,
it, he will get motivated and he will destroy you.
yeah,
So that's why don't talk to Kohli at all, because he will get motivated and he will show you the levels. So that's the plan of Bangladesh bowlers today, not to mess up with him, not to talk much to him. So that's how the impact they have already have. in their mind. They have plans to him. They have the strategies to him, and that's how I've read up about them. In terms of Kohli, yeah, it is a big game for him as well, because the previous games he was not that much kind of recognized in terms of due to other batters, but today he have the chance. Remember, in terms of the Ishan Kishan's double hundred, he scored 100 also, right? But he
Yeah.
was not recognized in that manner. So today again he have the chance to get recognized in terms of World Cup against Bangladesh. So yeah, again a good opportunity for him.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, because even that's one of the reasons why even Naveen ul Haq and everybody has gone and hugged Kohli. But let's let's be very honest, right? Because when we talk about a team like India, they've got almost all the bases covered. And the news is that Bangladesh are batting first. They've won the toss and chosen to bat first. India are chasing. Very rightly as well. Bangladesh have decided to do that, considering the points which we just said in the live, because ball will tend to move around quite a lot, and the lights is what they're expecting. Antariksh, another opportunity for India to chase. India would want to be in their cruise control mode once again. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, all of them back to business, as one would like to say so. 4 games, fourth game chasing, no test of batting whatsoever. Maybe the next game is where we are going to be put to bat first in Dharamshala,
Yeah.
I reckon.
I fear that, you know what, I really fear that. Like I know it's like a skeptical Indian fan speaking. Even though everything's perfect, we're still scared. But guys, it's the World Cup. I just fear that let's concede 360, 370 itself in the group stage, so that we have a target to chase. Because I don't want that. You know, even if it's like a good batting track, imagine Ahmedabad, a very good batting track, and 350 is not 350 anymore, at least at Ahmedabad. But that scoreboard pressure is something that we need to get used to a bit,
Mm.
at least a bit. So I'm a bit skeptical there, but hopefully,
So interesting,
go on.
Antariksh, just to put a pause, Rohit Sharma said that he would have ball first. So India have gotten what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, Rohit Sharma is there to hunt the chase. Like he doesn't care. He's like, all right, जब 400 आएगा तब देखेंगे. But abhi तो we're gonna rack up those couple of points every game. But no, as I said, just a skeptical fan. I don't want to. I just want to beat New Zealand so bad. Like like take away our 2 points against Netherlands. I don't care. Like just give us that news. Give us Kiwis neck. Like we just want it for Dhoni, for everything that they've
Yeah,
done to us over the years, at least in ICC tournaments. So I wouldn't really want to be up against a big total against New Zealand. So let's see. But you know what? It's going
absolutely.
perfect. Let's touch wood, and yeah, hopefully it just goes well.
Sai, before we, as Antariksh also said, the build-up is the New Zealand game. I don't know. Never did I ever think in my life that the biggest event of a IC tournament for India will be New Zealand. We've been talking about
So,
Pakistan, Australia, all that in the back. New Zealand is
yeah.
a new nemesis for Team India. But if you were to tick some boxes for today's game, what would be those boxes that you would want to tick heading into that big game?
Perfect. So yeah, that's a great question because New Zealand is kind of a silent killer, right? They do the work in total silence. They don't do
Yeah.
much kind of celebration. They don't do much
Sure.
hype. They do it very silently, and that's how they are the New Zealanders. They are the Kiwis. For today, I personally feel that our pacers should come up, right? Because so far in the World Cup, it's the spinners who are doing the work, majority of the work, right? Today, I want the Pacers to come up with, except the Pakistan game, right? Even though if you look carefully, we restrict Pakistan under 200, we restrict Australia under 200, but Afghanistan went above 270, right? No
Yeah.
one was talking about that, right? So today, these Asian teams will do it for sure. If today Bangladesh will come up at least around 280 to 70, for sure they have a chance because their strongest department is the spin department and it is about the second innings, right? So they have kept the strongest weapon for the second innings for Bangladesh. So
Absolutely.
today, I feel if you are talking about we need a target for our batters to get ready for the bigger game around 300, 350. That means the Bangladesh players are scoring a couple of hundreds today, right? So we don't want that to do, right? So
Yeah,
that's why first one, the Pacers should come up and they should take a couple of wickets initially. As I said, for me, the power play is the key to watch because in the power play, we get to know where the game will going to be, right? So
absolutely.
that's why in the power play, I need a couple of wickets early on. And as I said,
Yeah,
Mendy will come up for sure in the top order. So if
yeah.
he survives the power play, then for sure he will convert that into a bigger number.
Absolutely. Because Sai is in the ground, right? Like near the ground in Pune. So you can tell what's the weather like. Is it hot there though? Because that also matters, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to it is pretty
Right now
hot
it's
as well.
very hot.
It's really
It's
hot.
very
So
hot right now.
yeah, interesting. So I think that's about it from us. I mean, whatever we know, India are bowling first. They're same team, no changes at all. Bangladesh have got one change there. I know who has come to replace Shakib, but India have no changes. So Shreyas Iyer maintains that spot. Shardul Thakur also maintains that spot, and India are going to ball first. And from Pune, and hopefully we get another win, and we go against Kiwis on the 23rd to see who loses the first game of the World Cup. So that is the biggest battle. Who, if we can defeat it, if we can get to defeat New Zealand after 20 years in an ICC 50 over World Cup. So it's a long wait for us, and can we really do it or not is the question. Thank you, Sai. Thank you, Antariksh, once again. And thank you all for joining us once again. So if you guys are new here, do not forget to check out our channel and also subscribe to our channel. And also share this video with as many people as possible so we can keep bringing you all these new contents. And also do not forget to check out our course on Mad About Sports if you're an interesting analytical buff. If you want to make all the shots or call shots in a dressing room, want to work for your favorite IPL team or a sporting franchise, this is your opportunity to check out our football and cricket course with Mad About Sports. And also follow our page on Instagram for all the latest sporting updates. Thank you and see you all once again. Bye-bye.